I'm Alexis Georgescu.
And I'm Amy Killian, and this is our project on Caesar and Calpurnia.
So the context for Act 2, Scene 2 is that Caesar is being told to go to the House Senate to meet up with the rest of the government, and his wife has been having these really bad nightmares recently, and she's worried that something bad will happen to Caesar if he goes to the Parliament or to the Senate like he's supposed to. And so she starts arguing with him to keep him home.
In our scene, you'll see the themes of being overly confident versus his wary, fearful wife, being stubborn, which is Caesar, and insistent, which is Calpurnia, and the question of, is Caesar actually ambitious, like Brutus and Antony say in their speeches, or is he actually arrogant?
So the scene from the excerpt from Calpurnia says that you shall not stir out of your house today, which shows how insistent she is in keeping Caesar at home and how afraid that she is that something bad is going to happen to Caesar, which sort of shows like what kind of person that she is keeping Caesar home.
But then Caesar comes back and argues and says, no, Caesar shall forth. Because although Calpurnia is insistent, Caesar is so stubborn that he's kind of saying, well, I'm not having these nightmares, I'm going forth.
Then the excerpt from Calpurnia says, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they frighten me, which shows how wary she is, which kind of persuades her argument that Caesar should stay home. And it shows that she's letting her emotions kind of control what she's saying and what she's like, how she's using her emotions to persuade Caesar to stay home.
In this excerpt from Caesar, he replies that these predictions that she's having and her fears aren't really valid to him because to him they're just like anything else. And it shows his stubbornness, and it shows he's kind of arrogant in that he's overconfident. He's saying, well, I'm not scared of these things. These are all like silly predictions. I don't care, is essentially what he's saying.
And then the argument between the servant and Caesar. The servant comes to bring a prediction that the fates wrote out for Caesar, and he says that they could not find a heart within the beast, which, according to the ancient Romans, was basically saying that something bad was going to happen, whoever the prediction was about, and that he was going to get stabbed in the heart. So the servant's also telling him, agreeing with Calpurnia, that he shouldn't go to the Senate.
And Caesar's now completely just denying this, and his wife. He's saying that, well, the gods are just doing this because they think I'm afraid. And he's kind of taking it as a challenge rather than maybe being more wary like Calpurnia, like he should be. And he's saying danger knows full well that Caesar's more dangerous than he. He's kind of playing with his fate because he doesn't really believe it, because he's being cocky and overly confident.
And then Calpurnia says that his wisdom is consumed in confidence, basically calling Caesar really arrogant and too ambitious, kind of agreeing with what Cassius says later in the book. But Calpurnia is also using her fear, and then she's convincing Caesar that she should keep him home, and that it's her fear that's controlling Caesar and not Caesar's own fear.
And in this way, Caesar doesn't have to say, well, I'm afraid, and he's basically letting the gods win and saying that he's cowardly. So finally, on our last slide of the scene, Caesar says, for thy humor I will stay at home, which basically in the end, Calpurnia's insistence on keeping him home and her fears win.
Thank you.
Thank you.